Now that I don't typically post on the weekend, but I figured I'd give you something. And I just finished doing a bunch of Calc BC homework for the AP test that's coming up. So that stuff sucks, by the way. I'm like drowning in homework for that. It's not even homework, it's just like I have no idea what I'm doing, which is a minor problem. I was thinking about posting a video for coding an indicator, just like showing you guys my process just on like 2 or 3 times speed, but other than that, I was gonna go ahead and do a replay session. You guys are more than welcome to say that I have hindsight. I don't really care. I chose this day randomly. I literally went on to FX Replay, and then when I made a session, I just said, "Hey, um, you know, uh, just choose randomly for me, and I'll go for it there." And I chose randomly, and it brought me here. So. We're gonna be trading MNQ. It's gonna be lovely, and I'm gonna trade it like I do any other day. But I've never really like done one of these before. You guys like see me actually map it out and do the whole thing. So this will be a long video, but I figured you all would appreciate it. It'll be like real time, like replaying real time. I'm just gonna go ahead and do like I'm gonna go ahead and mark out all the stuff that I would typically have marked out, just for just for practice sake. I always mark out the opening range. The opening range here hasn't been filled, but it largely overlaps here. Like if we have this right here, these levels overlap roughly. So, oh, excuse me. So I see absolutely no reason to really have that there. Other than that, we'll go to the, oh, and if you guys are wondering what this is, it's just an indicator so that I can mark out the times of day that we have. I don't know why this sticks around. It kind of just does. It's really annoying, but it is what it is. It's for FX Replay, and I can't code any of my own indicators. If anybody knows how to fix this, please let me know. But when you try to, oh my God, where did the indicator, but oh, editor, here it is. When you try to put in versions of scripts, like this is a really easy, straightforward script, and it's not, and I tried putting in version one, and every time I try to put in version one, it has like a million errors, and it doesn't work. It is the most annoying thing, but I don't know how to fix it, so. If you can figure out how to fix it, I would greatly appreciate that. But I don't know how to, so yeah, it's kind of is what it is right now. So I can't really do that on here. So that's been that has been a thing. Um, there's some sell side liquidity there. Some volume. There's a volume imbalance here. 4 hour. 4 hour looks like it's bullish, coming for a retrace. Daily looks like it's also bullish with a very, yeah, except what we had here. ICT talks about this, but every time we get a close above an old high, these closes are opportunities for smart money to start pricing in reversals and to start accumulating sell orders. So if I had to imagine, that's exactly what they're doing, and this is an enormous daily wick. So I would definitely have this um, as lined up. I'm going to take the zero off there. Just of this wick, I could see us moving up, taking into here, and then pressing farther below, or just hitting the sell side liquidity, coming back up into the opening range, and then going lower. Let's see where we're at right now. Yeah, I could see us hitting the sell side liquidity, going up into the opening range, and then dumping lower towards this sell side liquidity down here, or it looks like there's a big. Oh, it's because these are regular trading hours. Aha, that makes so much more sense. I was so confused why all of my measurements were off. Yeah, so this makes sense right in here. Yeah, I can see us dumping to sell side liquidity, filling an opening range gap, and then moving down lower. We have, let's see on the 4 hour. Yeah. We've if we take this out, this is market structure shift to the downside, and then yeah, I can see market structure shift to the downside, move up, maybe into I mean, this is that really high time frame. This is that like daily wick. But then if we moved up into like this order block right here, which I mean is the bottom of this wick too, like anywhere in here, near this upper quadrant, I could see that being a really good region for reversals. This is also a really, really big wick we could base price off of, but I'd love to see us go lower towards this liquidity. And on the hourly, I'm sure we have more liquidity in between. No, not really. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and start the time. I will stop this time every once in a while to put more drawings on the chart because I can't put drawings on the chart while the price is updating for some reason. I'm not totally sure why. Um, but yeah, we'll just let this play out. We'll see where price goes. I'm looking for that first presented fair value gap. That's definitely going to be of high priority. And then this sell side liquidity sweep right here was exactly what we were looking for. Um, I was looking to see that get swept, and then I'd like to see a push up into this opening range. We have this really nice minor buy side liquidity there, some buy side liquidity here. These are actually relative equal highs for buy side liquidity that would be really nice to hit. See, this is what I mean. Wait, this is what happens when I try to draw drawings while price is updating. It's just the most ridiculous thing. Oh, love of God. Sorry. There we go. This is buy side liquidity relative equal highs. Buy side liquidity. There we go. And we'll let price go from here. After the sell side liquidity sweep, we have this minor buy side liquidity here, but this is high time frame sell side liquidity. So I really would like us to see, I really would like us to see price move into this opening range gap up here, take out some buy side liquidity here, or even this buy side liquidity up here. Um, mm, hmm. Typically I don't have this much time on my hands, but I mean, I had the SAT this morning and that was really chill, and then I had a little bit of homework. I hung out with my girlfriend, but she is um hanging out with her friend at the moment, so I have the last few hours of the day to myself. I guess more to you guys, but figured I'd hop on YouTube and share my appreciation for the likes and subscriber, and then, give you guys just some love with this video that I'll post. And I mean, if any of you guys want to comment, if you guys get this far on the possibility of me doing a coding video, I may film it tonight, but if I don't, but you guys are interested, um, maybe put it in the comments if you want. Uh, yeah, and I'd be happy to make that for you guys. I know I've made some coding videos, but I've never really like showed you how I do it. I typically make them with Claude, the AI agent made by Anthropic, which is significantly better than ChatGPT and Gemini and DeepSeek. I use DeepSeek for math. I don't use Gemini for literally anything. I don't use ChatGPT for anything. I think Claude is a significantly better choice. Uh, I'll tell you why in a second. Just this is what I mean. Every time. Every fucking time. Love God. Here we are. And right there. This is our first presented fair value gap. Um, we'll see how price responds off of that. I would like to see it go up and sweep this relative equal highs on this buy side liquidity. We're booting to the upside right off the bat. This is S&P Global Manufacturing today. There's news this is news. This is macro. So those are important things to look at. If price comes down to this first presented fair value gap, I would be very interested in taking a long up to these relative equal highs for buy side liquidity and up to the opening range gap high and even this buy side liquidity. Really just depending on where price goes. But I would be very interested if it came down to this first presented fair value gap. When I'm looking to enter off of a recent sweep of liquidity, it typically makes like its first run, and then I like to put a GAN box over and look for return to CE. If you guys haven't seen TapX, I know I've mentioned him in the past. He hit a crazy trade, what, March 11th, which was, yeah, it was like 3 days ago. So what was that, Wednesday, Thursday, something like that. What, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday? Yeah, it should be Wednesday. Um, he hit an absolutely disgusting trade March 11th. Like, I know, like, ICT always says, you know, no one can, predict the top of the market or the bottom of the market. This guy really does it, like, genuinely once a week, once every 2 weeks. He is an absolute menace when it comes to, um, when it comes to not guessing, but interpreting price action using ICT concepts. It is absolutely absurd. I mean, you see what he's doing, and it's just ridiculous. So if you guys are interested in that kind of thing, I would seriously suggest going and looking at him. He is really, really good at what he does, and it's really cool to watch. This down here is an order block, which I'm gonna go ahead and um, go and save this as an order block, and then make this a bullish order block. There we go. If I can get price down to the CE, I would definitely enter. Um, but let's see where price goes. Just because I do still have this strong opinion that these highs in here are just way too even to be like, oh yeah, no, that's totally not gonna go up and reach those highs. It's ridiculous. Why would that ever happen? But yeah, we'll see what price does. I don't want to rush into anything. It is still very early into market open. This wick that we're leaving behind, depending on how this candle closes, could be a good time to draw here. Actually, probably will be, just with how this candle's looking. It's going to close. Um, if just because it looks like that has reached the bottom, if we can get a return down to the CE of that wick, that would also be a valid entry. It did come down to this first presented fair value gap like I wanted it to, providing uh, um, really typical ICT entry. I'm gonna go and enter right here. Not a whole lot. This is MNQ, so these are micro contracts, but I want to put my stop down here. I'm gonna be looking to risk at most around $1,000. This is a $100,000 like demo like replay. So let's see if we have 17, and I don't want to risk 1,000 right off the bat. So I'm thinking we go with I think we go with 10 at first, and then um, we'll go ahead and see where price goes from here. If we can get this drop down to CE of the first presented fair value gap, maybe even that order block, I would definitely enter in with more contracts. That would be a really optimal entry. Like I said, I am bearish on the day though, so I'm not gonna go ahead and try to risk a ton. Just seems like a bad idea, especially because we're going counter trend at the moment. So this is going to be the entirety of my contract size. Even if it comes down to this bullish order block, I really would like to see it respect this CE. And if it crawls down to this candle open down here, I'm gonna go ahead and just get stopped out and call that a day. But I really would like to see these. I know we had minor buy side liquidity sweep here, so maybe it's coming down for some minor sell side liquidity before it goes higher. But I really do think all of these highs right in here are really hard to say no to. But I am saying that as we're about to get stopped out, so let's see. Yeah, it's looking like it's a stop out for us. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate start. It's, it's just sad, honestly. It's a little depressing. Whatever. If we are gonna end up going lower, I think that's fine. But this is probably gonna turn to an inverse, which would be, yeah, it's gonna turn to an inverse. So what I'm looking at now is a return to CE on this first presented fair value gap, turning this, um, uh, if we could get a return back up to here, that would mean good shorts down to this low. And that would be in line with our bearish bias. I honestly just wanted to, I mean, we did get to CE of the opening range. I really thought we'd come up and take out this buy side liquidity first. Maybe we will, and I'll get absolutely toyed with once I go for shorts right here, but we'll see. Looks like we're seeing respect out of this first presented fair value gap. I still want to see that move up to this CE with bodies respecting the CE. I think if we can get that. Also, this is a bearish fair value gap. Maybe we'll end up respecting that, but I'd like to enter in for shorts right off of the CE there, putting stops either probably right around here, hoping to respect this wick, this volume imbalance, and the first presented fair value gap in general. If we get a respect of the CE of this bearish fair value gap, that would actually be a really good sign. We could trade off of like a second stage entry. There was a really strong respect of this candle in here. I think if we could get to pretty much right into that bearish fair value gap again, that would mean that would be really good. Like we did right there. I think this would be feasible for to sell 5 contracts right there. And if we could get up into the CE right here, I think that would be a really good sign to sell like another 5. Um, but I do want to see respect of this wick. Primarily though, the CE of the first presented for value gap would be ideal. This candle's coming to a close right now. It looks like it's being fairly respectful to. Okay, see, if it hadn't done that last upper move in this wick right here, I would have said it was being pretty respectful, but um, it's still respecting this bearish for value gap, still respecting the CE. Definitely be willing to enter another 5 contracts in right here. There's this volume or liquidity void down here. It's a fairly large one that I think would be very reasonable to see us return to. No, that's not what I meant. No, still not what I meant. I think that would be ideal, frankly, and then to see this sell side liquidity get swept, and then the sell side liquidity down here. I think that's ideal to territory for us right now. We're coming down filling that liquidity void that I was talking about that I wanted to see us fill. I don't want to see us respect that. I want to see us, like it's doing right now, I want to see this candle continue downwards, like just a really strong trend. I guess trend's the wrong word. A really strong sentiment of, and these like limousine candles to the downside, as ICT would say. We have this minor sell side right here. Right down to that minor sell side. I don't want to see us respect that either. Ideally, we would see, I can't adjust my stop loss either. Freaking ridiculous. I don't want to see us respect this minor sell side liquidity. I'd like to see us just completely disrespect it, go to the downside. I'd like to definitely pyramid in order if we could get um, a return pretty much to there, actually, was kind of what I was thinking. Um, Trying to decide if I want to enter 5 here or enter 5. I think we'll enter 5 once it goes a little bit higher. We'll call that good. Put in sell order. Um, Preferably, I don't want to see a close like this for off of a reaction off of this minor sell side liquidity. It would be ideal to see it go up, grab some buy orders to put in some more to let smart money accumulate sell orders again, and then push down to this sell side liquidity down here. We'll definitely close probably 5 contracts down here. This candle right here is actually pretty good, leaving this big wick to the upside. That would be ideal. See, in that last move there, in like the last second was not ideal. News comes out right now. This is 9:45 news. We don't want to see it have this, leave this big wick down here. That's a very negative sign for us. Again, get rid of this line so we can see price action. Um, I don't really want to see us leaving these wicks to the downside. I want to see us fill this and leave wicks to the upside would be the ideal scenario here. Um, Taking out this high would be a market structure shift. so we don't want to see that either. We're leaving a volume imbalance down here. Looks like we're going up towards that first presented fair value gap, CE kind of right now, which is not a super promising sign. That price action there in the last minute or so, leaving, oh, for Christ's sake, excuse my language. That right there, that huge wick, we can get a move up to CE. I'd be willing to enter in for another 5 contracts. Giving us just ideal entries. I'll definitely sell one of my positions off. We'll just go ahead and set a limit order right there for, I guess that doesn't, I hate how this works. I'm just gonna put it just above that wick. That'll go ahead and take us a little bit out of this hole that we made from earlier. If that were to happen, that's another, that right there is CE. Gonna toss this stop up here. So right now we're risking probably around 750, not in total, but not 750 on the singular position, but 750 with our previous loss. I would like to see a respect to this wick. We don't want to see that wick get filled. Our goal here is to see that wick get respected around CE and then plummet to the downside, creating these buy side liquidity highs would be ideal. And then just taking out this sell side liquidity would be sweet. This, if we get a candle close like this would not be like a super promising sign, especially because we're really looking for shorts in this last 5 seconds of this candle. There we go. That's what we were looking for. Respect of that wick, to the downside is pretty ideal. I'm gonna go ahead and set all of my stops down here. I mean, all of my take profits. That leaves like 600 bucks to the downside. That would put us in profit on this trade. I don't want to see us respect these lows right here. I don't want to see us hit these lows and then just revert to the upside. That would kind of suck. I'm going to go ahead and mitigate our risk at the moment by putting stops in right here. This is like less than 300 bucks worth of, it's like 250 bucks worth of risk, ideally. And we've really been accumulating a lot of price action within here. I'd really like to see some very aggressive candles to the downside right here. I'd really like to see that movement. I don't see any reason why we'd go any higher. Last 15 seconds of the candle here. Taking out that minor buy side liquidity right there. We don't want to see that respected. We want to see that get closed below and then continue moving below. We didn't close below this minor buy side liquidity, which is not great. We do want to see We don't want to see price move back up towards that original wick that we had. We want to see price, like I said, we want to see those really aggressive candles to the downside. Um, Typically, when I take a loss earlier in the day, I really just try to uh, accumulate a position that pretty much puts me back at break even. Um, I don't really try to aim for any like huge wins after I've already made a loss. I think it's a bad habit to build this like God complex. I mean, unless you're very experienced, but I think it's, I think it's, I think you can really build this like God complex when you're not as experienced that you can make back any loss. And so you take a loss, you're like, nah, I can make it back. And then you try to make it back and you risk, fairly reasonable amounts, but then you lose again. You're like, nah, I can do it. And then maybe you risk a little bit more and you dig yourself a fucking hole by the end of the day. And it's not convenient. These candles that we're getting in here are not great. We're respecting this minor buy side liquidity, or this minor sell side liquidity, which is not ideal. I don't want to see these kinds of candles. I don't want to see these candles moving upwards. Especially don't want to see this high get taken out. I really want to see that push, this push that we've been seeing to the downside. I want to see that continued. Um, Come on. It's really not great seeing all those wicks in the same place. I really want to see farther. We want to see it go farther. We're entering this macro time right here, and a typical characteristic of macro is that we will, something that I really like seeing is during macro, we uh will move very aggressively in one direction to take out liquidity, which will start this bigger move for the day. So kind of what I'm hoping is that this reach right down here into this sell side liquidity could be our macro move, or just like a little move at the beginning of macro to set us up for this bigger position that macro and price moving into like 10:30, even 11 will carry out. This candle right here is the opposite of what we want to see, though. This is horrendous. We're getting into the last 15 seconds of this candle, and seeing a close like that's going to be detrimental to our position. So that's really not a good sign. Of all things, that is a really, really bad sign. Yeah, we've got just a second left. It's an all right close. It's pretty bad, honestly. I don't like seeing all these candles built up. Uh, we're getting less and less progress to the downside, which is making me very nervous. I'm gonna go ahead and reduce our risk considerably more. I don't see any reason why we should move back up here. I really think it would be fine to take out this minor buy side liquidity, but I really don't even see why we do that. We should really be seeing these stronger moves to the downside. Um, this accumulation right here of a bunch of candles is not a great sign, in my unprofessional opinion. We've taken out that minor buy side liquidity. I really want to see it get respected. But it looks like we're kind of just moving up, which is a really bad sign. So it's the exact opposite of what I wanted. Um, if I if I lose this position, I'll kind of just speed through the rest of the day, see how it went, and see what I did wrong. There's a volume imbalance down here. It'd be sweet to see us move down there, disrespect it, and move to the downside. But this kind of move in here, sweep of this minor buy side liquidity, and we don't seem to be respecting it at all. It's not a great sign. I want to see more moves to the downside. I want to see it move farther down in this volume imbalance, not get, see how it moved in that volume imbalance, and then it's not respecting it. If we close up here after it reaches in that volume imbalance, I'd definitely treat that as a very, um, very bad sign. Yeah, this kind of close that I'm looking at in this, what, last 15 seconds of price action is not ideal. We've now filled in the rest of that volume imbalance. I'd really like to see us go ahead and move to the downside. Seeing us respect this volume imbalance would not be ideal. Just for on the 5 minute, this is a really, promising candle, except this is a huge wick that looks like we're filling in, then we could use that to move to the upside. Take out buy side liquidity before moving lower. Um, I really do want to see this candle move down here, disrespect this volume imbalance. Yeah, it's not great. It's a pretty bad sign, generally speaking. What it looks like to me is we're reversing off this. Looks like we could be getting stopped out maybe. Oh, shit, really suck. Um, uh, that's rough. Um, I don't want to speak too soon or anything, but this is not an ideal scenario. Seeing these bodies respect this earlier wick that we had, which happens to be the most prominent wick. Can't tell if this close respected it. It looks like it did, like to the tick. But we haven't seen any body closure above that, so I mean that's a good sign, but I do not have particularly high hopes for this position. Um, I think if we see that close above this, right here, which is also the close above this wick right here, that would be enough for me to go ahead and close my position. Um, I don't feel, I don't see enough reason why it would just shoot to the downside at this point. I feel like we've kind of uh lost that opportunity. So in the last 30 seconds, we'll see if we get that close above this consequent encroachment. I think if we do, then we'll go ahead and call it. Then we'll go ahead and play out the rest of the day and see what I missed. Yeah, this last 10 seconds is looking like we're gonna go ahead and close above that consequent encroachment. Um, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and call that. Yeah, so that was a very, very um, unfortunate end. About $500 down on the day. I'm gonna go ahead and increase it by, just gonna go ahead and increase by the minute. Yeah, we would have gotten stopped out. There's no real surprise there. Um, let's see what happens after macro. Yeah, it looks like we do go to the downside there. This is a Friday, keep in mind, so um, perhaps not incredible volatility, but this is typically the section that I trade. Uh, yeah, unfortunate. Had we been watching this instead and tracking the lows, like have we returned to equilibrium? No, 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 until we get up to here, where we're generally respecting the equilibrium. That could have been a really solid opportunity, and this in here was also respected. Um, so I think that was probably my missed opportunity. I definitely moved my stop loss prematurely. Had I kept my stop loss, I guess I put it on this line. Had I put it just above, we perfectly filled this fair value gap and then went to the downside. We didn't respect consequent encroachment on the 1 minute. Um, yeah, I think realistically, the better entry. I mean, I knew we were reversing once we had these candles in here. It's just what a reversal looks like, even if just short term. I had a feeling we wanted to go to the downside, but the ideal entry would have been in macro right here. This entry right in here, this would have been ideal. Um, this right here being like very, I think this would be considered turtle soup. Yeah, unfortunate. Unfortunate the way that ended, down about 500 bucks on that trade. Could have been a very profitable trade had I just we seen that this large move down. Now, I mean, now that we went up, took out minor buy side liquidity, and didn't even come near these relative equal highs. We could have just said this move down. We're waiting for, some kind of some version of, coming back into a discount, and that discount happens right in here. And had we entered, we could have entered just at the base of this uh, fair value gap, putting our stops above the high, and then targeting that same thing that we were targeting earlier. So 1 to 4 risk to reward, nothing amazing, but it's nothing bad either. I'm gonna go ahead and play this out for the rest of the day, just so you can see how price ended up developing. Looks like some pretty intense consolidation, not uncommon of Fridays, as we know. Yeah, so that was really the move that we missed out on. If I remember correctly, there were some 1 hour fair value gaps down here. Yeah, it looks like it just came down to um this fair value gap right in here. Came down and filled this is kind of what it's looking like, and then reversed. So yeah, I think that was an unfortunate end to this video, but I think it was valuable. I think I definitely could have done better with reading this move down once we had this market structure shift. Um, Once we had this market structure shift to the downside, probably would have been smart to start checking out where that CE was, which was right here, and seeing us move back into that right in here, and entering anywhere in here with our stops, just either at the base right here above this first presented fair value gap, kind of anywhere in this region would have made sense. And with this big wick, that also would have made sense to enter right here, just on the open of this candle. Yeah, no, I think that was a missed opportunity, 100%. Um, Unfortunate to see, but yeah, uh, unfortunate, but is what it is. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will go ahead and make another one of these videos sometime soon, maybe later today. Have a good rest of your night. Thanks for watching.